What's happening, people? Guys, yes, I can hear again. If you were on my stream yesterday, you know about the issues I was having about my left ear, but I'm good now. I can hear again, but I've had a crap day. Guys, I recorded a podcast, and I realized whilst I was editing the podcast that my mic was not even plugged in, so it was just 40 minutes of silence, pure silence. So now I have to re-record it and then edit it. Anyway, it is what it is, man. Big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you've just come through. Ramadan day, 15? I hope you are having a great Ramadan if you are observing the month of Ramadan. Of course, it's international break, but there's always something Manchester United related to talk about. There is always something related to talk about. And I was going to do the stream yesterday, but I thought, let me just hold off and do it today because so over the weekend, guys, on Saturday, Sunday, Friday, I couldn't hear in my left ear, but now the hearing is all good. And you know what I realized, guys, that hearing also messes up. Like, a big part of your hearing is also your balance, and it contributes to one another. And because of that, because I couldn't hear in one ear, I was leaning to one side all the time. Like, my balance was all over the place. Big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I know the biggest topic of discussion is the fact that it's possible that Scott McTominay might be getting a new contract. I will talk about that, but I think the biggest one for me is about Umar Barada being allowed to have the keys, the complete keys, i.e. the decision of manager goes solely down to him as CEO. It's reported that INEOS have a short list of 10 managers. That ain't a short list. A short list of 10 managers, guys, that's not a short list. That's a list. A short list is like 2 or 3 managers. But it doesn't mean that Erik ten Hag will be completely out of a job. That is not guaranteed. A big part of it is reportedly Sir Jim. What did they say? It said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's interest in terms of a manager, he wants someone that will just coach and be a coach, and solely that's his focus. And you know what? I think that could be Erik ten Hag. I'm not going to count Erik ten Hag out. He might not be part of this short list because it's made up of 10 managers at different clubs or unemployed, but I still think Erik ten Hag really stands a chance in that. Big up to Hasnain with the big super chat. Says, hey there, it's me, Usman. Big up, Usman. I hope you're doing well. Says, what's your prediction for Man United versus Brentford game? I've missed you and I'm waiting for your replies. Big up from the best friend, Usman. Big up to Usman, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. What is my prediction for Man United versus Brentford? I think it's going to be a difficult one just because it's off the back of an international break. But it's nice to see that quite a few Man United players who are on international duty have actually been released from their national team so they can rest. I'm talking about people like Bruno Fernandes, etc. Of course, people like Rashford is still on international duty. Maguire's on international duty. It will do them good to get some playing time in their legs and still be like ready for Saturday. I don't think it's going to be a big game. I'll be real. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 or a 4-3 or nothing. I think it's going to be an 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. Is going to be a difficult watch, but United will get the job done. United have to get the job done because United can't afford to drop points. Big up to Usman with the super chat. I appreciate it. Listen, before we get into the topics of transfers or just transfer talk, because like I said, there's always, with Man United, there's always transfer talk in and around the world of Manchester United all the time. But we're going to talk about the shortlist of 10 managers that INEOS are reportedly looking to replace Erik ten Hag if he leaves. And this list is a joke list. Wallahi, it's actually a comedic list. I looked at this list, I said this cannot be legit. This cannot be legit. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the list of managers on that, I personally think Erik ten Hag is, a few of them he's probably better than. Definitely, the one that's been the biggest topic of discussion, which is Gareth Southgate. I definitely think that, Erik ten Hag is way better than him. But it's reported that he is on that list and he's probably one of the favourites. I don't know what sort of bias that Gareth Southgate gets. I mean, you lot know my stance on Gareth Southgate when it comes to him as England manager. I think he's a failure for England, especially with the crop of players that he has and the crop of players at his disposal. I just think he's a joke. I think he's a joke of a manager. So if he comes anywhere near Carrington, you lot know damn well I too will be against it. Now, on the list after that, this list is a funny list. Is Thomas Tuchel, Tommy T, man like Tommy T, who will be leaving Bayern Munich at the end of this season, still got a bit to compete with with Bayern Munich. Of course, they're still in the champs. I don't know how I feel about Thomas Tuchel. I don't know how I feel about Thomas Tuchel. I'm not surprised that he's on that list, on that potential shortlist, because I think, guys, I'll be real. I think this shortlist is not a shortlist of managers that they think will fit the criteria that they're looking for. I think it's the list of managers that would be available this summer. Simple as that. I think that's what the list is, and I think I genuinely think Thomas Tuchel is on that list for that reason, because the way that I see it as a football manager, especially his affiliation with Chelsea, and I see Chelsea fans all the time saying, like, some Chelsea fans I know all the time saying they want Thomas Tuchel back. They're always saying that they want Thomas Tuchel back. Now, if he has failed to do well at Bayern Munich, and I mean, he did win a trophy with Chelsea, I just don't think he's the manager that everybody makes him out to be. I don't think he's that kind of manager, especially with the fact that at Bayern Munich right now, who's he benched? He benched Kim Min-jae. And even Kim Min-jae is like, I've just never been in a point of my career where I've been benched for no reason, but, you know, I'm going to play through it. Now, Kim Min-jae is a quality centre-back. So if he chooses to go with Upamecano, who is pants, then this guy got a CTE injury, and he needs to have some sort of scan. Next on the list, and this is why I'm saying this list is just nonsense, is Zinedine Zidane. We all know, I'm sure it's well known to everybody, everyone in the chat, everyone in the world of football. I think it's well known that Zinedine Zidane will probably never come to the Premier League. I think that's kind of obvious. He's not had a job. The guy ain't had a job for how many years, and he's been offered jobs in the Prem, and he said, nah, I'm not interested. I think there's only 2 jobs that he wants, the Real Madrid job and the France job. And he's going to continue to wait for that. Let him keep waiting that out. Stop adding him to this list. Stop. This is not the first time that United have been linked to Zinedine Zidane as a manager. Can we say that? When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, we were linked to him as well. Let it go. Let it go. Just word to, what's that movie? What, Frozen? Word to Frozen, man. Just let it go. Zinedine Zidane to Manchester United is never happening. It's never happening. Next on that list, and another manager that I'll probably lose my mind, is Graham Potter. Another manager that's unemployed. Another guy who's on this list who's unemployed. At least the other unemployed guy in Zinedine Zidane has the accolades. I think he's got the legs to stand. I think the argument for Zidane is probably better than the argument for Graham Potter if we go off of you know, what they've won and that kind of stuff. But Graham Potter for me is in the same bracket as Gareth Southgate. He's in the same bracket as the hell no. If I was to put them into like different categories, as like category 1, 2, 3, and then hell no, Graham Potter and Gareth Southgate are in that category together. Simple as that. I'm not even going to go into it too tough. And it just, well, I feel like the list just gets worse and worse the further we go down. Next on the list is Thomas Frank. His biggest achievement is bringing Brentford up and then keeping them up. That has been his biggest achievement. Is he the man for a Man United job? I don't think so. And I told you, lot, as the list goes on, it's just getting worse. Next on the list, Roberto De Zerbi. I think from a playing style, I understand why he's on this list when it comes to the way he plays. And not just at Brighton, even at previous clubs that he was at. I kind of understand that. But in terms of what he's won, not many, to be honest, I can't really say what they've won because not many managers on this list have won a whole heap of stuff. I mean, Zidane has won some stuff, Thomas Tuchel has won some stuff, etc. Ruben Amorim, shiny new toy syndrome. I don't actually want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful, actually, to Ruben Amorim, current manager of Sporting. I don't want to be disrespectful just because I've read quite a few pieces, I've listened to some podcasts about the way that Sporting play, and he's become he has been obviously an integral part of the style of football that they play at Sporting. Next on the list, Julian Nagelsmann. At least he's employed. At least him and Amorim are currently employed. Nagelsmann currently has a big task ahead of him. Germany, that German team at the Euros will be very interesting. It will be very, very interesting. Now, this is the one you lot are gonna laugh in it because I can't pronounce this guy's name, and you lot know I have struggles in it with pronouncing names. I'm gonna have to sound it out. Lopetegui. Julian Lopetegui. I hope I said that right. the former Wolves manager, or is he still the manager? I think he's former. Yeah, he's the former boss of Wolves. I don't know what his name is doing in that list. I'll be real. I don't know what his name is doing in this list. And the last one on this list, and this is when I know this is a comedic list of this short list is a comedy. It's comedy settings, pure comedy settings. Ange Postecoglou, the guy who just joined Spurs. Why is he on the short list? If this short list has any sort of legitimacy to it, and it's some sort of and there's real interest there, I don't know why he's on that list. And the reason why I say I don't know why he's on that list, I don't see it realistically happening. I don't see it. Personally, I don't see it realistic happening. But when I look at that short list and I think how many of these managers are probably actually better than Eric Ten Hag, I would say maybe Zizou. Zizou can be in that conversation. Would I say Nagelsmann? Would I say no, Nagelsmann is better than Ten Hag? Let me not say better. Let me say who could actually be on this short list to replace Ten Hag. I think out of all those managers on the list, I would say is Zidane, Nagelsmann, De Zerbi. That's it. Those are the three managers out of that 10-man shortlist that I could be like, you know what, these three can maybe sit at the same table or and chat to Eric Ten Hag. Because the rest of them, Gareth Southgate, are you having a laugh? Graham Potter, you're taking the piss. Excuse my language, but you're actually taking the mick. You are actually taking the mick. I don't want to spend too much time on this because you lot know this is just paper talking. It. This is just rumors. This is just this is not. I don't really think it's anything legit to it. One thing that has been emphasized, I think, a lot is the fact that fans shouldn't count out the possibility of Eric Ten Hag actually being the manager next season. That could actually be a big possibility. So it shouldn't be counted out. It shouldn't solely be kind of suggested that he's gonna get the sack in the summer. Because I told you, like, I think I see a United team next season that maybe Ten Hag does stay. Maybe Ten Hag does stay, and maybe because the biggest issue that United will encounter, I would say the biggest issue that they will encounter going forward next season is this reports about the UEFA issue under INEOS. Now, this has been I think this has been a topic of conversation before Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually took over. But of course, multi-ownership within Europe cannot play within European football. Simple as that. And if Manchester United qualify for Champions League, and obviously Nice do as well, then whoever finished higher out of the two teams will get to play in the competition. And I think there's still some questions to be cleared up surrounding that, especially because the way that I see it is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not a majority owner. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not a majority owner, then United should not be punished in that instance. I don't see it as a punishment, actually, but the United shouldn't have to kind of suffer, because if he solely owns Nice and then he's got a small share in Manchester United, he doesn't even have a majority share. He does not even have a majority share. So if he has a small share in Manchester United, then I don't think it should be classed as a multi-ownership, because he barely owns one club. Maybe, guys, this is me being biased, but I'm trying to look at it from a logical perspective. Big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. Imran says, add my granddad on that list. Big up to Nadir says, Ange is a better manager than Eric Ten Hag, but he won't leave Spurs. I personally don't see Ange leaving Spurs. I personally don't see it happening, but that shortlist just made me, when I saw that shortlist, guys, it just made me laugh. I just thought this was a very unserious one. But the biggest topic of discussion, before we get into any transfer talk, because I saw some talk today about Jared Branthwaite, is that Scott McTominay will probably be or could be rewarded with a new Manchester United contract. And you know what, guys? I don't think I'm against it. I do not think I'm against it. I think you look at, and if he's solely a player that knows his role and he's a rotational player, I actually wouldn't be against it. Unless, now my biggest worry is that if keeping him means that we have to miss out on certain players in midfield, that maybe we can't bring another midfielder in that would actually benefit United in terms of on a game in, game out basis, then I would absolutely be like, you know what, get rid of him. But in terms of You know, because let's be honest, the reason why I'm saying this, guys, I'm not being like crazy or anything. The reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes I think we need to be realistic with how many players United are going to get rid of this summer. United are not going to get rid of they're not going to get rid of the entire squad. There's already, I think, a list of players that will absolutely be leaving. And those include the players that have gone out on loan this season and have not done well. The Van der Beeks, the Palestris, Sancho. These are the players that will be 100% getting sold. And then I would say in this current squad that United have that Ten Hag uses on a regular basis, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 players that might get sold. One being Harry Maguire, I think will get sold. 2, maybe Casemiro. Maybe Casemiro. Realistically, I don't see multiple players. I mean, if you look at United's midfield, yeah, Casemiro leaves, United are buying a midfielder. Yeah, United are going to buy a midfielder if Casemiro leaves. If Scott McTominay leaves, will United replace him? No, I don't think United would replace him. And I think United will just be 1 player short in their team, 1 player short in midfield. That's it. And that's the only reason why I'm saying I think it logically makes sense to me for Man United to kind of keep McTominay, just because I don't see him being shipped out with the number of players that will be sold this summer. And B, I don't want to be sentimental, guys. I don't want to be sentimental. I don't want to be like, you need a player that understands the club. You need a homegrown player that understands what it means to play for Manchester. I don't want to say that stuff, but I do want to say it at the same time. I want to say it at the same time, but I want to be just realistic. Honestly, Mina, you're on crack if you want to extend McTominay. I don't want to extend him, but I'm saying it makes sense to keep him if United aren't selling him this summer, because of the number of players that United are going to have to sell this summer. It might be one of them ones where United can't afford to let go of 15 players, and they can only let go of, say, 10. They can only let go of 12, given the fact that people like Varane could be leaving on a free. Varane is possibly leaving on a free. Martial's leaving on a free. Yeah. Then there's the players, like I said, that will be sold because of the fact that, they have had crap loan spells. The Donny van der Beeks, Palestri, Alvaro Fernandez could get sold. Sancho could get sold. Who's to say Amad Diallo won't get sold? Amad Diallo could there's players out there that I think that is certainly going to get sold. And that's the ones that are on loan right now. Then there's the ones that are going to leave for free. And then there's going to be the ones that United can afford to part ways with. And that's the players like, I'm saying, Harry Maguire. Maybe Lindelof might leave. And all these positions that will kind of be vacated, or Scott McTominay is classed as a senior player, right? He's got how many appearances? He's got how many appearances for the club? He's classed as a senior player. You need players like this in the dressing room, because you can't just bring in a whole new base or a whole new foundation of players and expect them to immediately understand what it means to play for Man United and what it means, what the badge means and the importance of, all of this stuff. They're not going to get it straight away. You need these players like the Rashfords and the McTominays that are there, that have that kind of, I don't want to say influence, but also they do show a pathway from academy to first team. So they're also an inspirational aspect for the players coming from the academy. Of course, there's now players like Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, etc. But I think I will be so honest, guys. I will be so honest. I will be happy with Scott McTominay being sold if it's guaranteed that another midfielder is coming in. And that is why I'm saying that is my worry. That is my concern, is that United part ways with so many players and then the depth is not there. The rotation option is not there on the bench, because realistically, like I said, United will part ways with 10, 12 players. They're not going to bring in 10, 12 players. They're not going to bring in 10 players in the summer transfer window. 2 defenders leave. I think United will bring in 1. I think United will bring in 1 defender, or maybe 2 at best. I think if McTominay leaves, I don't even think there will be a guarantee that there's going to be another midfielder. I think the only midfielder that's guaranteed to happen is that if Casemiro leaves, there will be 100% another one playing, because Amrabat's going to be gone. Eriksen, I don't even know if I don't think he can still play for 30 minutes or more. I don't think so. So United will definitely go out and buy one midfielder. But if they sell Scott McTominay, they're not going to buy another one. And what's going to happen? People are, and you know what? I'm saying that, right? I'm saying that, but I'm forgetting Mason Mount is yet to come into the team. Mason Mount is yet to come into the midfield. So technically, that's kind of like a new signing. It's kind of like another new signing in midfield where he can probably do I think he could do the McTominay role as probably way better than what McTominay could do. Am I becoming KG? Am I just flip-flopping on my opinion? I'm just saying, yeah, McTominay wouldn't be the first player that I part ways with in the midfield. He wouldn't be the first player that I part ways with. Because in a team, guys, you need people that know what their role is. You need people who know they ain't a starter and they're not going to get 60, 70 minutes a game. Yeah, you need people that know what their role is and is happy to play that role. That's what you need. You look at basketball, yeah. You've got a 6-man. You've got 7, 8, 9th men options. You've got those options on the bench. These are people who are cool with being bench players. They're rotational players. They come in and play the scrub minutes. That's what you need. I wouldn't mind McTominay being that. I genuinely would not mind McTominay being that. Maybe I'm wild. Now this Mr. K is trolling. Mr. K is trolling. That's a troll. That's a troll right there. If I've ever seen a troll, that's a troll. I actually need to go do a call-in show this week because I ain't done one in a minute, and I'm sure people have some wild opinions to say. But this might be even more wild this might be more wild than me saying I would keep McTominay. This might be worse. It says Mina, McTominay is better than Casemiro, Mount, and Amrabat. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not having that. And you lot know I come with some delusion sometimes. You lot know that. But me, if I'm not having that comment, then no. Of course, people are going to talk about the goals he's scored this season, the number of points that he's won for United. But if we're talking about overall how he is as a player, come on, man. Come on. Come on. It's not about stats. Don't be the stats people, guys. Don't be them people that say, oh, he scored this and he assisted this. Please. Don't do that. Let's not do that, guys. Come on. I know I started the stream off by being a little bit delusional, but we don't need to continue the delusion throughout the stream. We don't need to continue the delusion during the stream. That's all I'm saying. Yeah? So when you lot are going to come with your opinions in the chat, and I will absolutely read it. If I see it, I'll read it. Let's be reasonable, guys. Let's be reasonable. If McTominay is your 6th man, then you definitely ain't a playoff team. Oh, my team's struggling to get into the flipping play-ins, let alone the flipping playoffs, man. Like, come on. Like, come on. Kadeem says, we are trash and I would not want him in my team. And this is coming from an Everton fan. That's coming from an Everton fan. I mean, you've got better options, I'd say, in the midfield. I'd say you've got way better options in your midfield than Scott McTominay, in my opinion. Anyways, you got way better ones. You got way better ones. Night of 27, I'll do dua for Southgate to United, and I will make dua against your dua. I will astaghfirullah. Why am I spending 27th night in Ramadan making dua for football? Come on, make dua. Hussam, if you're gonna make dua for me. Make dua for my family. Make dua for my loved ones. Make dua for my friends. Make dua for the ummah. Why are you wasting your du'as on Southgate to United? Huh? Barakallah feek. Don't waste your du'as on nonsense, bro. Make dua for useful stuff. Yeah? Useful stuff. You're coming here talking about I'm gonna make dua for Southgate. I pray Allah rejects that dua. Yeah? Don't come with that stuff, bro. Don't come. Make dua for me. Make dua for my family. Make dua for yourself. Make dua for yourself. Yeah? 27th night, you talk about Southgate. Astaghfirullah. Barakallah feek. Big up to Hussam. He's such a troll. He is such a troll. He's such a troll. Big up to Hussam. Make sure you check out his channel, man. Make sure you check out his channel. But guys, let me know. Am I actually being crazy for saying McTominay, I would keep him? Is that crazy for me to say? Because I look at this summer and I think one guaranteed signing is a centre back. I think it's guaranteed, whether it's Branthwaite, Adebayo, I think his name is, from Fulham. I'm not too sure about the guy from Nice. What's his name? Tadibo. I think it's going to be a Branthwaite. I think Branthwaite is going to come to United as the centre back signing this summer. I don't know what it is, but I really feel like Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to assemble the greatest British players that we've ever seen in our life. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he is going to come and assemble the British Avengers. You can call it. Oh shit! Something is playing in the background of my laptop, guys, and I don't know how to turn it off. Well, I don't know where it's always playing from my thing. My bad. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't have saw. That scared the shit out of me. I just started hearing stuff. Basically, guys, do you know what happened to me today? This is a bit off topic. This is a bit off topic. Yeah. I have a women's podcast where I talk about Manchester United women. Yeah. I recorded an episode. Yeah. 45 minutes. 45 minutes of the podcast. I recorded it. I start editing it. I realized my mic wasn't plugged in the whole time. Imagine that, guys. My mic was not plugged in the whole time. So now I need to re-record the podcast. But I said so many good stuff. I feel like a fraud. I feel like a fraud re-recording it because I'm just repeating myself again fraudulently. Oh, I was so embarrassed, man. Honestly. So if you were waiting for that podcast to come out, it's meant to come out today. I'm sorry. It's out tomorrow morning, innit? But I'm a joke. Branthwaite, yes, but not for 70 million. I already told you lot in it. I have PTSD signing a centre back, an English centre back from a lower league team, because I got PTSD from Harry Maguire. Now I think if Everton go down, it might make it a bit easier for United. So maybe we should want Everton. Nah, I wouldn't say I want Everton to go down, but maybe it makes it easier for United. But I do think that Jared Branthwaite is the one that's gonna come to Manchester United. Like, out of all the centre backs, like I've said this time and time again, I really think he will be the one that they end up going for, because it seems like he fits the caliber of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is trying to build at Manchester United. And I don't mean it because he's English. I mean the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has kind of emphasized multiple times that he wants to go out and get the best talents in the league. He wants to go out and get the next up-and-coming star. I'm not saying Branthwaite is the next up-and-coming star, but we've definitely seen what he's capable of. We've definitely seen what he's capable of doing as in terms of that centre back role. And I think this was his first. I think he played for the England in the Brazil game, right? If I'm not wrong, I think he did play. But I also think that under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, that United are looking to sign players that are proven in the Prem, players that won't have to come and adapt to a new league and new standards and new kind of speed and all of that kind of stuff. Players that are already comfortable with that. I do think, I genuinely think that's why we are linked to people like Branthwaite. We've been linked to people like, what's that other guy called? Elise. People who have been in the Prem for some time and, a couple years and are young and still heaps of talent. And I really think, like, I'm going to come back to this in July, August times if Branthwaite is there holding up a Manchester United shirt, because all these other names that we're linked to, I just think that that's paper talk. I think that's paper talk. And from even what I've heard, like people that are close to sources at United, Branthwaite is a legitimate target for the summer, and United will try their best to kind of go out all for him. Branthwaite is hype, man. Where's Evan Ferguson? Is he injured? Yeah, I think he's injured. I think he's had injury issues this season. That's why that hype of Ferguson kind of died down quickly as well. But yeah, I think he's injured. Hold that. The owner of Brighton was the CEO or whatever. The owner of Brighton was talking about how he's going to be the next 100 million player that they sell, or 150 million, and the guy's barely played this season because he's had injury issues. So it is what it is. You snooze, you lose. But in terms of the summer transfer window and what United are going to do, I've said this time and time again, guys. I really think that the summer transfer window, a big part of it is, yes, the players, but also I think it's the manager. I think who the manager is going into next season is probably as big this summer as the players that they bring in. Because I even though I know that, we're saying that, oh, INEOS are going to choose the way that the team plays, and the manager has to play the way that the structure want them to play. But I think the players that they bring in will depend on, how they adapt to the team will definitely depend on who the manager is. And I'm not gonna lie, if if it's Southgate, if it's Southgate, guys, like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, because the inside, I know it's not going to happen, but then there's a small part of me that thinks, what if that happens? What if that happens? That smile is going to be gone from my face. Big up Mapuka with the contribution. I appreciate it. Just a contribution, nothing else there. Big up. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Big up to Ado says the manager will be Ten Hag. Allow the agenda, Mina. Listen, guys, let me say one thing. You lot know damn well on this channel there's no agenda. I just have an opinion. This is what I hate, yeah, about the term agenda annoys me. There is, because the term agenda, you make it, people use it in a way that is a negative word. There is no agendas here on this channel. I've never sat here and continuously insulted the manager. I question and criticize the manager just the same way I question and criticize players. That is not an agenda. That is a football fan. Yeah. And I've never sat here, can I say also, I've never sat here and said, sack the manager and get this manager in, or sack the manager and get this manager in. I've just said where I feel like the manager is falling short and whether or not I think he is in over his head. That's it. Guess what? That's not an agenda. That's an opinion. That is an opinion, guys. So let's clarify that. Let's clarify that before we throw the A word around, because I'm going to treat it like it's an insult. Before we throw around the A word, let's just say people are entitled to an opinion. Just because it differs to yours doesn't make it an agenda. It does not make it an agenda. I absolutely think, can I just say as well, I'm glad we live in a world that everyone has different opinions, because you know how boring this world would be if everyone had the same opinion. Do you know how boring that would be? Have you like ever sat there, yeah, and had conversation with your friends or your siblings or your cousins or whatever, where you all share the same opinion? It's flipping boring. I never want to have those conversations. Keep me out of those conversations. Why are you going to sit there and just agree with each other for a whole hour straight? Absolutely not. I like people that challenge opinions. And I will challenge someone's opinion just like I would like someone to challenge mine. If we lived in a world where everyone's shared the same opinion, it would be a damn right boring world. Boycott if Southgate takes it. I don't see a boycott happening, but I do. If Southgate ever became United manager, I do see people being on his neck far quicker than they would have been any other manager. People will probably want him out immediately. I can imagine that. Big up to Olumba in the chat. Big up. If Ten Hag was on the market, we would be looking at him, yeah, because we wouldn't have experienced the last 2 years, the 2 seasons under him. Can I just say though, I've said this time and time again, I respect if Man United get to another FA Cup final under Eric Ten Hag, especially this particular season where I feel like the season has been worse than last season in terms of, the trajectory of the season and the ups and the downs and all the kind of the roller coaster of a season it's been. I genuinely think this season would be better than. Is it crazy for me to say this, guys? Is it crazy for me to say this? That if Ten Hag gets to an FA Cup this season, I would be more impressed with that than what he did last season. And the reason why I'm saying that is to get to a cup final where he's only lost 9 out of 10 FA Cup games, and that one game he lost was obviously the final last season. He's got a 90% win record in the FA Cup so far. And I actually think it's more impressive that he gets to another FA Cup final and possibly winning it with this team that he has had this season, the injury problems, the poor performances throughout, the season, the ups and the downs, all of that kind of stuff. And to make a final, that is very impressive. That to me is more impressive than last. Honestly, like I'm being so honest that I would be more impressed than that than last season. And last season we won a cup. Last season, we were taken aback because it's your first season. You don't anticipate that a manager does that well that quickly. So you are kind of like taken aback by it. But I genuinely think like, and let me not get too far ahead of ourselves in it, because we still got Coventry in the semi-final. I don't think that's going to be an easy game. I think that's going to be it's a game I expect United to win, but I don't expect them to kind of play Coventry off the park, because that's not been done at any point this season. So I don't know why I'm expecting it in a semi-final, but I expect United to win. And then if they get to the final, and between Chelsea and City, that's an interesting one, because City are doing their quest for their treble again. So obviously they got the squad depth for it. Chelsea going to another final at Wembley, or trying to go to another final at Wembley this season under a bad year under Poch. So it could be a make or break. I think the FA Cup could be a make or break for 2 out of the 4 managers that are in the semi-final, and that's in Poch and Ten Hag. Now, obviously, there's been reports that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ahmed Barada, and that will not really, the Ten Hag's future at Manchester United does not kind of lie on top 4 and winning the cup, but rather if they see that he's the man for the job. That's really what it lies on. It'll be impressive when he loses to City in the final part too. Come on, like United, we gotta have some faith. We gotta have some faith. This is my favorite part, guys, about streaming in the evening, is that I can just drink water peacefully. I can drink water peacefully while streaming. And doing streams, can I just say, in the daytime, I respect the people that do streams in the daytime. I say this all the time. If you are fasting and you're doing streams and you're talking, when I'm fasting, guys, I don't even want to talk. I literally, I have a limited number of words that I can say when I'm fasting, because I don't want to get a dry throat. I don't want to get thirsty. I'm just sitting there with my fingers on my lips like this. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do watch-alongs. I done a few watch-alongs, obviously, for the women's during fasting hours. And even then, it's been difficult. So people that do it throughout the whole day, do streams, all of that kind of stuff, well, I respect it. I respect it big time. Big up to Aminor with the super chat. Says, Mina, I dislike Eric Ten Hag out as like Saeed. Too many agenda. Listen, everyone is allowed to have their opinions, guys. Come on. I think it's when it gets toxic is that it's not nice, but it happens. Like, that's football, innit? I'm not encouraging it, but also it's people's opinions. You can't really police people's opinions. And I think that's maybe if we live in a world just in general, not just football, but just opinions in general. If we lived in a world where you don't police people's opinions and you don't force people to have the same opinion as you, then maybe we'd live in a bit of a better world. Some top 10 clubs haven't reached 3 finals in 20 years, and United could possibly do it in 2 seasons. In what people are calling a process or a project under Eric Ten Hag. That is impressive. I'll give it that. That's been impressive. Especially, I think this year, the run of teams that United have come up against, in particular, obviously Liverpool, just about beat Nottingham Forest. We only beat Nottingham Forest 1-0, guys, if you lot remember, in February. So that also is very interesting. But there's still a lot of the season to play for. Well, I don't know why I'm talking about FA Cup so much, because there's still a lot of the season to play for, especially in terms of that top 6 race or that top 5 race or top 4 race, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever you lot want to call it. It is what it is. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. It's a short one today. It's not going to be a long stream. 1 hour plus. It's going to be a nice little 40-minute one, because I'm a disgrace. I need to go and record my podcast, and embarrassingly, I have to start all over again. So I got another 40 minutes of talking waiting for me. Big up to everyone. You guys know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm back with my EAFC streams, because I'm tired of people thinking that I'm crap at the game. I am back with that, and this week I am back with my Twitch streams. I've been so inconsistent, guys. I've been so inconsistent on Twitch, but I'm back this week on Twitch. We are going to be streaming. Link in the bio of this video if you want to go over and follow me on Twitch. I do my EAFC streams here when it's career mode, but everything else I'm doing on Twitch. So, Ultimate Team, Warzone, all of that kind of stuff, I'm doing it on Twitch. I'm not doing it here on my channel. So if you want to check that out, link in the bio below. Go over and follow my Twitch. It's just the same as here as YouTube. If you want to follow me on other platforms as well, All the links or all the ats are here. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. You guys know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully, I'm glad international breaks coming to an end. I'm glad, because there's nothing to do at all when it comes to content and international breaks. I'm out. Hit the like button. Peace.